What's good, guys? OJ here. Welcome back to the Big RPG Show. Today we got a lot of great topics, so let's go ahead and jump right into it here. And we're starting off with Sonic Frontiers. We've got some brand new content coming to this game, and it looks like Sega was telling the truth when they said that Sonic Frontiers is going to be the cornerstone of the Sonic brand for the next decade or so, because we've got some brand new content updates and it's all free. So next year in 2023, you've got update 1, which will get you a jukebox, photo mode, and new challenges mode. Also, update 2 will get you Sonic's birthday, open zone challenge, and new go. And then update 3 will get you additional playable characters and a brand new story. So pretty substantial stuff here. And as you can see in the picture, that is Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, plus some new story. So this is absolutely great. Like, I love the fact that they're doing this with Sonic Frontiers, and this is what they need to do. Now, Sonic Frontiers is not a perfect game, and I'm not the biggest 3D Sonic fan, but I have to give them credit for trying something new, trying something different with the Sonic brand, but then also sticking with it and not moving on as fast as possible. This game, Sonic Frontiers, is the best reviewed Sonic 3D game in quite some time. It did better than Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, and what was the other one? Sonic Forces. Like, it's done pretty well for itself. Yes, it's low 70s, but I think that fans are happy with the core product here, and now it's time to build upon that. Take this and make Sonic Frontiers 2 in the next few years, and I think that you're going to have something special with 3D Sonic once again, because they have the 2D formula down pat for the most part. Sonic Mania was great, Sonic Mania Plus, the old school games are fantastic, but I think now this is the time to build upon the 3D Sonic formula. So I love what I'm seeing here from Sonic Frontiers. So what do you guys think about these cool new updates coming to Sonic Frontiers? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, moving on, we have some new information on Final Fantasy 16 and also some rumors as well. So according to the official Game Awards Twitter page, they had this to say when it comes to Final Fantasy 16. Next Thursday, hashtag the Game Awards is humbled to welcome Naoki Yoshida, or Yoshi P, producer of Final Fantasy 16, to the show for a very special live presentation. Watch the free global live stream at thegameawards.com starting at 7:30 p.m. ET / 4:30 p.m. PT. So they flipped it around there, but I understand why. Now, this is actually pretty cool because the rumors floating around this live presentation is that there is going to be maybe a demo announced, or even the release date for Final Fantasy 16 plus pre-orders, special edition, or something. So it definitely seems like Square Enix, Yoshi P, the Game Awards, they're gearing up for something special and pretty substantial with this special live presentation at the Game Awards, which is good to hear. Now, I will be streaming the Game Awards, so we always stream this. I don't think I've missed a year in like the last 4 or 5 years. I've pretty much streamed a lot of them since they started in 2014, since Keeley revised it and did it this way to where it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it used to be. But I mean, it's better now, but obviously, you know, people have their opinions on the Game Awards, but I think that the viewership keeps going up. The fans keep on getting more interest. People keep on wanting to watch this no matter how good or bad the show is or however many ads. So I think at the end of the day, it's really just something to do at that time period, and it's better to be here than it not to be here. I think that's kind of how I look at the Game Awards at this point. At least it's here and it's something to watch and it's something to get excited about when it comes to certain games. I mean, you never know what they're going to do, and it might take some time to get to the games. And once again, Keeley deals with a million people saying a million different suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's something to do. It's going to be a stream. We're going to react to it, and it's going to be fun like it always is, no matter how bad the show is. So even if they show Fast and the Furious at the end of it, I mean, I still streamed it and had a good time making jokes and all that. So what do you guys think about this special Final Fantasy 16 live presentation at the Game Awards? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, moving on to the next topic. This one is actually pretty cool because Atlas has confirmed that the new release versions of Persona 5 Royal have already topped 1 million units. Now, the series as a whole for Persona 5, or not even just the series, just Persona 5 by itself, with digital sales and shipments, have topped 8.3 million. So we have a new RPG juggernaut here when it comes to the sales. I mean, really, with turn-based RPGs, it's hard to see a lot of turn-based Japanese RPGs do this well. And Persona has absolutely barged through the door here with this. And that's very, very good to see, because here's the deal with this, guys. And I know Atlus is never going to break down the sales numbers because they have a marketing deal with Xbox. That was Game Pass. The PlayStation 5 new gen release of the game didn't do as well just because there was no cross-save carryover with the PlayStation 4 version of the game. So if you wanted to play on your PlayStation 5, you have to start all over. And that reflected when it comes to the Xbox Game Pass and also with the PS5 version, that reflected in the MPD sales and also the Japanese sales. The PS5 version, the Xbox Series version wasn't really anywhere to be found with the MPDs. However, in Japan, the Nintendo Switch version charted, I think sold 50,000 units plus or something like that, and it's still going at this point. Also, in the MPDs, Persona 5 jumped up, but Persona 5 Royal on the Nintendo Switch was a bestseller on the eShop, in addition to being a bestseller on the MPD charts. It actually rated pretty high for the Nintendo Switch charts by itself. So that right there shows you that Nintendo Switch owners went out there and supported the game. And I'm really happy that we all did go out there and support the game, because people had been crying for Persona 5 Royal, Persona 5 on the Nintendo Switch for quite some time. So if we didn't see it chart in the top of the MPDs, we didn't see it chart in the Nintendo Switch sales charts, if we didn't see that in the Japanese charts and also with the MPD with the US Switch only, there would have been an issue. I would have been pretty upset with the fans out there. So I'm really glad that people went out there and actually bought it for $60, and then it was discounted for Black Friday. But I think that once the sales start coming in more, you're going to see more and more people pick up Persona 5 Royal on the Nintendo Switch, because it's a perfect place to play that style of game with the long 100 hours of content plus in there, the demon fusion, and just kind of how the game plays with the social links and all of that. It's really good for portable play. So I think that the PC release, that was awesome. Xbox release, PS5 new gen release, that was all great. But Switch owners had been complaining for this game for 5 years now at this point. 5 years, and they finally got it, and they showed up and bought the game, and it's reflected in all the different sales charts that we can measure here. So I wish Atlus would come out and say something with the breakdown, but they're not going to. But either way, it's great to see just Persona 5 multi-platform do so well, and this is definitely a pillar to build off of in the future, because I stated this before, Persona can be a 10 million plus seller, but they have to get out of the way that they were before, where it's like, okay, only PlayStation. You can't do that if you want to sell 10 million plus. They release it on new gen systems. You have a big base of people who already bought the game on PS4. Now you bring in new systems with the Switch. You've got 1 million plus people coming in, and even more because the game just launched not too long ago. So the fact they already did over 1 million, it's gonna keep selling, especially when there's discounts or sales. So this is awesome to see, because Persona 5 built up a lot of its base off of discounts and sales on the PlayStation 4. So I think that this is gonna be good for the long term as well. So what do you guys think about Persona 5 Royal, the new gen versions doing this good? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, moving on to the big topic for the show, and that is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We have an apology from Nintendo officially on Twitter, and a statement about how they're going to rectify the issue that is going on with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and the performance, in addition to bugs and glitches. So over on Twitter, Nintendo did put out a statement saying that they do take feedback seriously and they're working on it. But I wanted to go over to the actual linked page, because I think a lot of people actually miss this because of Twitter character limits probably. But Nintendo actually had a little bit of a bigger statement when it comes to what they plan to do with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I want to make sure that I get my main point across with this, because I think a lot of content creators and a lot of people don't see it the way that I'm seeing it, because I already predicted that they would do this. And I think that it needs to go just a little bit further when it comes to the fans out there. And I'll explain why in just a bit. So over on the official page here, there is version 1.1.0 released in December 1st, 2022. Now, what we do know, That patch is already up. You guys can go out there and download it, or automatically downloads. So this will add season 1 of ranked battles will kick off, allowing you to enjoy ranked battles through the battle stadium. Please check the in-game notice for more details about ranked battles season 1. They also have an issue has been fixed that caused the music to not play correctly during the battles with the Elite Four and the top champion in the Victory Road path. And then also other select bug fixes have been made. So that's definitely good. This game is kind of buggy and glitchy. You want them to start fixing those things. Should have been done beforehand, but hey, we are where we are at this point. Now, the biggest thing to know about this, guys, like I said, where a lot of people, especially on Twitter, did not catch is this part right here where they say, quote, "We are aware that players may encounter issues that affect the game's performance. Our goal is always to give players a positive experience with our games, and we apologize for the inconvenience. We take the feedback from players seriously and are working on improvements to the games." Now, there's a couple things with this. Nintendo, in my opinion, had to come out and say something, considering how buggy and glitchy this game has been. What has been on the internet, this is something where it's almost like instinctively like, hey, you have to have some type of statement ready to go, and you have to go back to Game Freak and say, this is not how it's going to be done, and you guys need to start working on this. Now, Game Freak and Nintendo share a building, okay? They're right there next to each other. Everybody needs to work together. This isn't a, oh, this fault, that fault, whatever the case is. I don't really care. They say here right at the bottom, they said, hey, we take the feedback seriously, so keep giving that feedback. This isn't a, okay, let's just wait and see what they do. No, this is an active thing with the fans where we have to sit there and say, hey, once the next patch comes, they say, hey, we improved performance. Okay, well, it's still not good enough, or okay, this is better, but maybe you guys can improve this, that, and this. It's not like they have a set number of patches planned and then they're gonna go from there. It's like, no, they're gonna continuously patch the game, and the fans have to continuously saying things because they said that we take the feedback seriously. So they are looking at that type of stuff, and it's not good for long-term sales, which is what I was trying to explain on the podcast that I'm on, the Spawncast. I was trying to explain that the sales numbers only make things worse when it comes to them having the urgency or what they need to do to fix this game, because you can't have a game that is the most popular Nintendo game in terms of the first 3 days of sales of all time and then just leave it where people are posting bugs and there's no fixes and no issues whatsoever. If anything, the pressure goes up when it comes down to it, because this game doesn't perform performance-wise better than the last 2 Pokemon games that came out on the Nintendo Switch. And this is supposed to be the next big new generation. You want those long-term sales? You want to beat out Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and those ones, you're going to have to listen to what the fans say and improve this performance. This is something that needs to be done. Bugs and glitches, hot fixes like we got here with this December 1st patch, good. Get those done. Keep on getting those done every couple of weeks or every month or whatever the case is, but definitely start working on a big patch, which I think that they're already doing based on what they said here. Start working on that big patch to improve the performance, because all people are asking for is a solid 30 frames per second. There might be a few dips here or there, but for the most part, that's what people are looking for. And I don't think with the amount of time, resources, and what Nintendo can offer to the table alongside Game Freak, they can get some people that can work on these bugs and these glitches and this performance. I don't think it's a, oh, Game Freak doesn't have enough employees type of thing. No, I don't believe any of that. I'm not subscribing to that. And once again, they're the ones that are telling us that they're taking the feedback seriously. So I'm not necessarily worried too much about how many employees when they make billions of dollars and they have Nintendo as a publisher, and the Pokemon company get extra people on to work on these bugs and glitches and fix this performance issues that they're having here. Because honestly, this is one of the best Pokemon games that I've ever played, even with the issues. It's really good. I'm enjoying playing the game. And if they fix these issues, it's going to make an already fun game so much better to play and go through. So I'm thinking that they're going to get some patches done. It's not going to be overnight, guys. It's not going to be tomorrow or in like the next week or so. I think it's going to take a number of patches over the course of 2023. But I think eventually, based on how this game is doing, I think that they are going to get this game to where it's at least good enough to where it's not as bad how it is now. So eventually they'll get it to a point to where it's acceptable enough. And hopefully for the next game, we don't have to run into these issues and they can build on top of what they've already done here. But those are my thoughts when it comes to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I think the games are great, and I feel that this statement that Nintendo put out is very important, because as great as the games are for the Pokemon experience when it comes to fans and battling and trading and all of that, and like the open world and all the cool stuff they added, the performance is definitely an issue, especially if your game crashes or if there's a bug and you can't enjoy that game that you paid for. So those are my thoughts on this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, moving on to the next topic here, guys. We've got a brand new open world dress up adventure game called Infinity Nikki. Now, this game's coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC, iOS, and Android, and it's from Chinese developer Paper Games. Now, the official description has this to say about it, and I found this like the Mary Poppins game or something like that. You're just kind of like floating around here and there, which you guys are saying. So Infinity Nikki is a cross-platform open world dress-up adventure game developed by Paper Games. Here, you will join Nikki and Momo in a vast fantasy world, exploring freely and savoring varied playstyles. The power resting in gorgeous outfits will find you a path forward and offer infinite fun along the journey. Looking forward to meeting you in Mirrorland. So there you go. Infinite Nikki is the latest game in the Nikki franchise, which I didn't know that there was a Nikki franchise. Now, previous games, which are only available on iOS and Android devices, which is the reason why I didn't know about it. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because it's a pretty interesting looking game now that they're making the jump from iOS and Android to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So this is going to be on the radar for some people out there just based on the way that it looks, and it's a PlayStation console exclusive. So what do you guys think about Infinite Nikki? Is this the type of game that you're looking to get into? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, Fire Emblem Engage. We've got some new information on the pre-orders of the game, gameplay footage, and so much that they've shown on the official Fire Emblem Japanese page. So right now at this point, here's the information. Fire Emblem Engage has already surpassed the total pre-orders of Fire Emblem Three Houses in Japan. Now, why is this significant? Well, Fire Emblem Three Houses is the best-selling Fire Emblem game of all time. And the fact that Fire Emblem Engage still has about a month and some odd weeks to go as of the time that I'm recording this video, the fact that it's already passed it up is really good for the Fire Emblem brand and for this game. I love the fact that more fans are out there excited and ready to get into a new core Fire Emblem game. And once again, this franchise is turning a new leaf on the Nintendo Switch. The fact that this game sold 4 million units or so on the Nintendo Switch for a strategy RPG, that is incredible. One of the best-selling strategy RPGs of all time, if not the best, when it comes to console strategy RPGs. Now, to see Fire Emblem Engage already one-up it at the COMG pre-orders. Now, remember, guys, this is Japan only, but a lot of times what you see in Japan carries over to the West when it comes to how the games do. So if it's breaking records or beating out the previous game in Japan, it's probably going to do the same thing here, especially because this game will be launching when the Nintendo Switch is probably around 120 million units worldwide. So that's going to give Fire Emblem Engage a huge install base to sell to, so we had to discuss this doing so well in the COMG, and I'm guessing that here in the US, pre-orders and sales are going to be really good. That Divine Edition has already sold out in many places, so Fire Emblem fans are getting excited for this game. We're getting new footage. It's looking absolutely incredible. I love the animations. I love the music. I love everything about Fire Emblem Engage, so I'm looking forward to that traditional Fire Emblem experience with a splash of Fire Emblem heroes in there for the old school fans too. Using all these past heroes from different games is just incredible to see. So what are your thoughts when it comes to Fire Emblem Engage? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell. We will see you for the next video.